999-999-9999.
Thanks for watching News 12 on your side.
From the station that's on your side, breaking news.
We begin with breaking news out of Augusta, where a fire truck has flipped over. These are live pictures from Washington Road, right at the on-ramp to I-20 westbound. That's right before the I-20 overpass near the Starbucks. Our crew on the scene sent back photos where you can see the front windshield is completely shattered. It's ladder truck 501. Our crew also says that there is a long skid mark from the turning lane to where the crash actually happened here. Traffic is backed up pretty bad in the area, so if you can avoid it, please take a different route there. But first, Augusta's new mayor is turning the celebration of Martin Luther King Jr. into a day of service. Volunteers from the University of Georgia Alumni Association worked with Project Refresh to help provide for the homeless. News 12's Alyssa Lyons explains how Martin Luther King's mission and the group's mission coincide on this day. Alyssa.
Yeah, well, today dozens of volunteers from Georgia Alumni to the mayor assisted at the Master's Table and Project Refresh to help those in our area experiencing homelessness. Each person who came through was given a grab bag of shampoo, conditioner, clothing items such as shoes, hats, and gloves. Mayor Johnson, who was an organizer of the event, says that Dr. King's life was built on providing service to others, so what better way to honor him in this way?
A luxury that we take for granted every day. The simpleness of a shower. You have people on this cold day come up with everything that they own to step into a portable trailer to shower and only give them 15 minutes. Not only shower, but to change and not have the ability to do it in the privacy like us in our homes. It's just an eye-opening experience for me to witness.
Well, Golden Harvest recorded more than 200 people experiencing homelessness stop by the Master's Table. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll hear from those who spent their off day giving.
All right, thanks, Alyssa. Worshippers gathered at Atlanta's Ebenezer Baptist Church this morning to commemorate Martin Luther King Jr. Georgia Senator and Reverend Raphael Warnock spoke at the service. It was a packed house filled with those remembering who Martin Luther King Jr. was and how we must continue to uphold his legacy by helping others.
Martin Luther King Jr. demonstrates that it's not how long you live, but how well you live. He left us a long time ago, but he speaks more powerfully from the crypt than most politicians speak on the floor of the United States Congress.
And President Joe Biden spoke at Ebenezer Baptist Church yesterday to commemorate MLK Day. Biden is the first sitting president to deliver a Sunday sermon at the historic church where Martin Luther King Jr. was a pastor. Tori Cooper explains what the president's speech means for us today.
On the eve of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, President Joe Biden made his way back to Atlanta to deliver a speech in the city where the iconic civil rights leader, Dr. King Jr., was born.
We have to choose a community over chaos.
In the church Dr. King grew up in and served as co-pastor, President Biden reminding the nation from the pulpit at Ebenezer Baptist Church that we're at a moment in American history where it's the time of choosing equality.
And I believe Dr. King's life and legacy show us the way we should pay attention.
President Biden making history as the first sitting president to deliver a speech at Ebenezer Baptist Church for its Sunday service.
We choose believers in the dreams, to be doers, to be unafraid, always keeping the faith.
Offering praise for King and his legacy, noting that the civil rights pioneer was his own political hero, reminding the nation that Dr. King's message,
I think it's important you all remember, but I think it's important the nation remember it. He said, "Where do we go from here?"
is our roadmap for a better future as Americans.
Well, my message to the nation on this day is we go forward. We go together. When we choose democracy over autocracy, a beloved community over chaos.
I'm Tori Cooper, Atlanta News First.
Several lawmakers making statements on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. U.S. Congressman James Clyburn tweeted, saying in part, "This Martin Luther King Jr. Day, let us heed his words and refuse to be complicit in the face of injustice." In South Carolina, Senator Tim Scott also tweeting, saying, "Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. means the world to me and so many others. One of the passions he had was that all of God's children, kinds of all colors and backgrounds, would come together, join hands, and with new meaning, sing 'My Country, 'Tis of Thee.'" Turning now to weather, we're going to send things over to First Alert meteorologist Mikkel Hannah-Harden. Mikkel, awfully chilly out there this
in just a bit.
Thanks, Mikkel. We have an update on Justin Gilstrap, the 11-year-old boy who was attacked by dogs last Friday night and has won the support and prayers from the entire community. Justin's mother has said he underwent surgery number 5 this morning. She says that they're still doing cleanup and debris removal on his leg. Another surgery is expected on Wednesday. When it comes to the dogs that attacked Justin, tomorrow marks day 10 of quarantine. We're reaching out to animal control to find out what's next for them. Well, just hours after celebrating a back-to-back national championship win, UGA lineman Devin Willock was killed in a car crash. Now his fans are remembering his achievements. Law enforcement say the 20-year-old was riding in a vehicle with staffer Chandler LaCroix, who was also killed in that accident. 2 others were injured. The loss is being felt by students and fans in Athens and elsewhere. Sam Kramer and his grandson said that they met Willock a day before at a restaurant in Athens.
Turned to Camden and said, "Hey, buddy," and gave him a fist bump as well. And Camden's eyes, lit up, and he had on his championship ring that he fist bumped him with. And Camden, was there and said, "Hey, I've got one of those too." He took the ring off and he gave it to Camden.
Other fans say it just shows how precious life can be. Willock's mother says that the family is absolutely distraught right now, but they know that their son is receiving an outpour of love and support from Dogs Nation there. A basketball player with the University of Alabama is accused of murder after a deadly shooting near the campus. Police arrested Darius Miles of Washington, D.C. yesterday. Investigators say Miles and another man, Michael Lynn Davis of Charles County, Maryland, allegedly fired into a vehicle with 2 people inside. A woman, Jamia Harris, was hit and later died from her injuries. Police say that the shooting happened after the 2 groups got into an argument while they were driving near an area of the campus known as the Strip. Miles and Davis are currently jailed without bond. Miles is no longer a member of the Alabama basketball team. A Georgia family is homeless but not hopeless. Coming up, their story of survival as they work to rebuild after a tornado destroyed just about everything they owned. Mikkel?
And we are tracking rainfall chances as we head into tomorrow, lasting through Thursday as well, and then possibly again for the weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up in the full forecast.
While there are a variety of MLK events happening in the Augusta community today, coming up all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, I'll have the latest on why the Museum of Black History kept their doors open for tours today.
Continuing coverage on our breaking news, we begin with a crash here in Augusta where a fire truck has flipped over. These are live pictures from Washington Road right at the on-ramp to I-20 westbound. That's right before the I-20 overpass near the Starbucks there. Our crew on the scene sent back photos where you can see the front windshield completely shattered. It's ladder truck 501. Our crew also says that there is a long skid mark from the turning lane to where the crash actually happened. Traffic is backed up in that area, so if you can't avoid it, take a different route. It seems like the tow truck has arrived to try to pull that out of the area. We'll continue keeping you updated as we learn more here. Well, in Georgia, hundreds of people are homeless in Troup County after Thursday's tornado tore through their community. Dawn White reports.
What am I going to do now? Don't have a house now. Looking at this, it made me realize I'm homeless now.
It's something Samir Chandri never thought would happen to him.
Don't know where the family is going to sleep that night. Don't know where family is going to sleep tonight.
This family only has memories of their home.
And this is our living room that we had.
Samir's sister grabbed his 4-year-old son and took off in her car when she saw the tornado.
She would have been in this bathroom actually, which collapsed all the way.
Not only is the second story gone, but you can see the sky from that first floor bathroom.
This is everything we had. We're over here for 13 years, and to have it gone instantly, is reality now.
Let us pray.
Samir was one of the people coming out to this prayer vigil Saturday.
We ask that you touch our community as we continuously rebuild, God.
At Lafayette Square in LaGrange.
We're not going to allow this to get us down. We're going to keep pushing, and LaGrange is that great city that we know that it is, and we're going to all pull together.
When someone's affected in our community, it affects everyone. We saw the damage that the tornado did, and we just felt that it was very important to come out and support our community.
That devastation is something Samir knows all too well.
And it makes you realize that anything can happen to anyone, and that's where everyone should be able to help each other out.
And all across Georgia, we just saw so much destruction there. We even saw it in Warren County and McDuffie County where a tornado touched down here locally. Mikkel, I know you went out with the surveyors the day after all that happened.
That's right, yes. National Weather Service from Columbia, they actually had to coordinate with the National Weather Service in Atlanta as well because it started in Warren County near Camac, Georgia, which is in Warren County under National Weather Service ATL's jurisdiction, and then crossed over into the Columbia Weather Office jurisdiction in McDuffie County. But it was an EF1, not quite as damaging as what we saw in that package right there. That's just heart-wrenching.
Yeah, and with these storms, again, they move so quickly. I mean, we've been saying for the entire week, we saw it go all the way from McDuffie County to Clarks Hill Lake, all the way up to Saluda in just about an hour. So they move quickly. You have little warning. That's why you guys play such an important role with all of this.
Yes, and that's why we stick with the coverage and, don't break it at all, because we just want to continue to get those updates for reasons just like you saw in that video. So thankfully, we didn't have that situation here. The weather is a lot quieter as we went right on into MLK Day, pushing in by Thursday with temperatures in the mid-70s.
Thanks, Mikkel. If we've learned anything from Ferris Bueller, it's the movie's not over until it's over. There's a way to know if there's something after the credits. We'll show you coming up after the break. Following breaking news out of Augusta where a fire truck has flipped over, we are live there at Washington Road, right at the on-ramp to I-20 westbound. That's right before the I-20 overpass near the Starbucks, and you can see front windshield completely shattered there on their ladder truck. It is ladder truck 501, and right now crews are working to flip the ladder truck so it can be towed away. Our crew says that there is a long skid mark from the turning lane to where the actual crash happened. Traffic is backed up in that area, so if you can take a different route, please try to avoid this. Well, if you're a movie lover, you probably know sometimes the movie isn't over after the ending. Extra scenes are sometimes in or after the credits roll. Remember Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but how can you know if there's something extra without sitting through all of the credits? Our consumer tech reporter, Jamie Tucker, says there's an app for that.
Movie producers say the movie isn't over until we say it is. But how do you know if a movie like Ferris Bueller's Day Off has one of these iconic scenes after the credits? You have to sit and watch the credits. Or you can use this app called After Credits. After Credits is mostly crowdsourced information letting you know if it's worth staying in your seat after the movie ends. People who go to the movies or watch them on Netflix or another streaming service post whether there's anything during or after the credits roll. Here's an example of movies in theaters now. Avatar, nothing during or after the credits. Same for Glass Onion, that's on Netflix. But there is something in the movie A Man Called Otto in Wakanda Forever. And people who've waited around to see them can vote on whether it's worth hanging around for. If you don't mind spoilers, After Credits will show you what you'll see if you don't turn it off or walk out of the theater. And it isn't just new movies, but After Credits has the same information for thousands of movies going back decades. Now, the bad news is After Credits is iPhone only. The good news, you can get all of that information from their website, aftercredits.com, or following them on Facebook or Twitter. I'm Jamie Tucker, and After Credits is the app of the day.
The company's website also provides the after credits information on video games as well. Mikkel?
Well, looking ahead towards the weekend, unfortunately, rain chances do stick around as the weather pattern stays unsettled. We'll take one last look at the forecast coming up.
And after several attempts, a lot of puppies have the chance for a new home. Coming up, we'll introduce you to them on the other side of this break.
We'll save you time and money here at Waynesboro Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Dodge Charger SXTs discounted $3,000, just $549 a month.
Start something new today in Waynesboro.
Good to go, Waynesboro.com.
The winter sale is
Brakes for Less. Set up an appointment online. Give us a call or just walk in.
2023 Jeep Wrangler Sports, now $720 a month in Waynesboro.
Choose your vehicle and we'll bring it to you.
Take the short drive down 25 to save during the Start Something New sales event.
Well, check this out. A litter of puppies in the Midlands is safe after deputies were called to rescue them. A man says he heard puppies yelping while he was working on his elderly mother's home, but he couldn't get to them under the house. After several failed attempts, he called the sheriff's office. Deputy Brandon Hayes was one of the officers that took the call. He was able to crawl deep under the house and rescue the pups. Now he says that they stole his heart. Those puppies may have a new home there.
Well, we'd love to hear that. Definitely a dog lover.
A good rescue mission for us.
That's
on our Monday blues.
Yes, the blues are in full effect. All this cloud cover moving in ahead of our next storm system. No rainfall just yet, and we should.
You get a deal you'll feel good about.
You're watching News 12 on your side.